Next we shall see group of units. So consider the integer modulo n. Here we have defined two operations, addition and multiplication. Actually zn comma plus comma dot is a ring. Ring definition and all we shall see later. But in a ring, multiplicative inverse need not exist for all elements. Suppose if exists, then that element is called a unit. An element A belonging to Zn is said to be a unit if it has a multiplicative inverse. Collect all such elements of this Zn and name it as Un. So Un is equal to set of all units of Zn. This you can find from this formula. Of course, Zn will have numbers from 0 to n minus 1. In that, we are not going to include 0. So, 0 don't have a multiplicative inverse. So, from 1 to n minus 1, you take any number and find the GCD of that number with n. Greatest common divisor of A and n is 1. That is, A and any number which is relatively prime to n, you collect those numbers. You collect those numbers which are relatively prime to n. That set is called as Un. This Un will be an abelian group under multiplication modulo n. And this set is called a group of units for the ring Zn comma plus comma dot. You may find that how many elements are in Un, how many elements will be in Un, that can be obtained by using these formulas. Any integer can be written as a product of prime numbers raised to some powers. So you find the prime factorization of n, and here Pi denotes the prime numbers and Ea is the corresponding powers of that prime numbers. Then modulus of Un is equal to phi of n. Phi of n is the Euler phi function that is obtained from this formula. N into product I is equal to 1 to k 1 minus 1 by Pi. How many prime numbers you have obtained when factorizing this n is here. So this is to find the number of elements that Un will have. Whether we have left out whether we have included all the numbers satisfying this condition. So you can verify that using this formula. Let us see it in a particular example. Consider the ring of integers Z9, plus, dot. Z9 is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. up to 8. N minus 1, 3, 9 minus 1, 8. Then U9 is equal to 1, 2, 3. Sorry. Then U9, what we have seen? U9 consists of all the elements which are relatively prime to 9. 0 and 9. You are not going to include 0. 1 and 9. What is the GCD? It is greatest common divisor is 1. So 1 is relatively prime to 9. So you collect it. Then 2 is also relatively prime. The 2 and 9 has the GCD 1. So you collect 2. For 3 and 9, the greatest common divisor is 3. So you are not going to include this 3. Only those numbers which are relatively prime to 9, those numbers only you are going to collect in this set U9. Similarly, for 6 and 9, the greatest common divisor is 3. So you leave it and you take 7. 7 is prime, so of course relatively prime to 9. Therefore you have collected 9. And 8 and 9. The greatest common divisor of 8 and 9 is 1. So you are including 8 here. So U9 consists of 6 elements. So write the elements of U9 in the first row and first column, and you do the operation multiplication modulo 9. So multiplication modulo 9 means just you multiply. If the number is greater than 9, you find the residue when the resulting number is divided by 9. So 1 into any number is same, so I have marked all this number. 2 into any number, you multiply it. Suppose if you are getting number less than 9, then it will be here. So 2 into 4 is 8, up to this okay. And 2 into 5 is 10. 10 is equal to 1 under modulo 9. So similarly you fill all the values, and we see that one is each and every element or from this set alone. It does not exceed this set. So you may see that 3 is not obtained as a result. 3 is an element of 9, Z9, but you didn't have a 3 as a result here. You didn't have 0 as a result here. So this set alone forms a group under multiplication. You may verify that each and every element has an inverse. So 1 is the identity element that belongs to this set, and the inverse of 2 is 5, inverse of 4 is 7, inverse of 5 is 2, inverse of 7 is 4, inverse of 8 is 8 itself. So you can see that each and every element has the inverse in this set. So is that from the set Z9 we have collected some subset that alone forms a group under multiplication modulo 9. So from this table we see that U9 comma dot is an abelian group under multiplication modulo 9. Now let us see the properties of a group. The properties are stated in the theorem. So for every group G comma dot, the identity of G is unique. Second statement, the inverse of each element in G is also unique. Third one, left cancellation property. If for any three elements A, B, C in G, this one holds AB equal to AC, then B is equal to C. That is, the left side element is same, then it can be cancelled. Similarly, last one, right cancellation property states if A, B, C are elements in G, which satisfies BA equal to CA, then the right side element can be cancelled, which results in B equal to C. So we shall see the proofs of these four properties of a group. So first proof, that is identity is unique. We know that for any element A in G, if E is an identity, then AE is equal to EA is equal to A. That is A dot E. Here is dot is not mentioned. It is same as A dot E. So AE is equal to EA is equal to A. This is if E is an identity. We have to prove the uniqueness of this identity. For that, suppose if there are two identity exist in this group, there is the proof is by contradiction. Suppose if there are two identities in the group, say E1 and E2, then considering this E1 as any element and E2 as identity, we have E1 dot E2 is equal to E2 dot E1 is equal to E1. Here E1 is, you are considering it as any other element, and E2 is only acting as a identity. So it will not have any effect on E1. So result will be E1. Similarly, in the other way, you can consider E2 as any element and E1 as the identity. So when this is taken into account, then using this definition of identity, we will have E2 E1 is equal to E1 E2 is equal to E2. Here E1 is only acting as an identity, so it has no effect on E2. So result will be E2. From these two equations, we see that E1 is equal to E2. So identity must be unique in a group. Next, second one proof. Second one, we are talking about the inverse. Inverse of each element should be unique. Here also we use the method of contradiction. Suppose any element G, A belonging to G has two inverses B and C. Then by the definition of inverse, what should be the condition for this? A dot B should be equal to B dot A is equal to E. That is, on operating the inverse, we get the identity element. Taking B as inverse, we have this equation. And similarly, taking C as the inverse of A, you have this equation. AC is equal to CA is equal to E. Now our aim is to prove that B is equal to C. Is it so? So the inverse is unique means that should not be any two inverse. These two are equal. That is our claim. So we consider this B. B is any element and E is the identity. So we can write B is equal to B into E. Any element can be written as a multiplied by E. Now this E can be replaced by AC using the second equation. E can be written as AC. In order to bring a C here, you are using this equation, second equation. Now using the associative property in group, we can associate first two elements of this. So B into AC can be replaced by BA into C. BA is nothing but E. Using this first equation, we may say that since B is the inverse of A, we have BA is equal to E. Again, using the identity property, we see that E into C is nothing but C, since E is the identity. So now we have found that B is equal to C. Hence, inverse of each element is unique in G. Next, the last two properties, left cancellation law and right cancellation law. So, left cancellation property. In that, what is given? Given that AB is equal to AC, or ABC or elements of G. Now, our aim is to prove that B is equal to C. But how to eliminate this A? So now just pre-multiply by A inverse. So pre-multiplying in this equation by A inverse, what will you have? A inverse into EB is equal to A inverse into AC. Now again you can use associativity property and you can associate the first two elements here. So A inverse into A into B is equal to A inverse A into C. Now using this inverse property, that is A inverse into a particular element into its inverse will be equal to E. So using inverse axiom, we have A inverse A is equal to E. So replacing that, we have this one. So E into any element is nothing but that element, that is using identity property. Using identity axiom, we can say that EB is nothing but B and EZ is nothing but C. So just by these three properties of a group, we get that if AB is equal to AC, then B is equal to C. We can cancel an element in left side and an element in the right side. If both occur, both left side of operation are equal, then only we can equate this. Similarly, the right cancellation property can also be proved by post multiplying by A inverse. So same three axioms of the group can be used to prove this, but here you are post multiplying by A inverse as A occur on the right side. So here also you are using associative property and then inverse property and then identity property. So we have proved when BA is equal to CA, then B is equal to C. Thank you.